well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The day I passed my gun safety course, I went hunting with my dad. Weekends in the woods with him were the best times I ever had. So when I hear some politician trying to take that freedom away, I stand my ground. I don't back down. I've got a gun that can feed my family. I've got one that protects my home. It's my right by the Constitution to keep and bear the arms I own. I'm a law-abiding, patriotic American to the bone, and I will defend it. The Second Amendment.
Welcome, my friends, to episode number 2 of the Speaking of Guns podcast, where we cover anything and everything related to guns and gear and concealed carry, and maybe even a little politics from time to time. I'm your host, Tim Shields.
And I'm your other host, Janet Shields.
Well, let's see. What have we been doing the last week since we last talked to everybody?
Well, earlier this weekend, we went to the range and did some really good training.
Yeah, that was a fun trip. We had a good time. I shot the, what I shoot?
You shot my Beretta.
Oh, yeah, your Beretta. I shot your Beretta 9mm, and I also shot the Glock 9mm, Glock 19. And it wasn't a great range trip for me as far as accuracy goes, but, you know, I've had worse days.
Do you know what the problem was?
I think it might have been my glasses. I was using some new eye protection that had magnifiers, like a...
bifocals.
Yeah, bifocals. Tell my age. Thanks, Janet. I had bifocals on the bottom of it, and it was partially blurry, so I think maybe that was the problem. I think I need to play around with some different kinds of eye gear and see if I can remedy that.
Yeah, and I shot both of the same guns, the Glock 19 and also the Beretta 9mm, the PX4 Storm. This is the one that I talked about last week that was in my range bag. So it's becoming my carry gun. And hey, when I pushed it out to the 10-yard line, I shot pretty good with it. But I was also doing some specific drills with the Glock, because I've decided that I'm going to participate in an upcoming match, and I haven't really trained as far as double taps and rapid fire for matches.
And tell everybody what type of match you're going to be participating in.
I am going to participate in an IDPA match, and IDPA stands for International Defensive Pistol Association.
International Defensive Pistol Association.
Yes.
Awesome.
And it looks like a lot of fun. I've never been to this match, so I don't know how their setup is going to be. But I can't go in November because we have a class. So the next match that I'm available for is December. So really excited about that.
So you'll have a report for everybody when we come back from the December match to share with them.
I will. I'm excited. Awesome. Very excited.
A quick programming note. We didn't really know what we were going to do as far as frequency of this podcast, and we have decided to do it on a weekly basis. So what we're going to try to do is get it out on every Monday from here forward, just so everybody knows. So I guess that's about all we did in our weekend review, right?
Yeah, I really didn't do a whole lot of other stuff. I did some reading, just online and different things. Looked through some magazines.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to firearms in the news.
It's time for firearms in the news.
Okay, my first story for Firearms in the News is NBC Sports reports by Josh Alper on November 2nd of 2016 that Eagles wide receiver Josh Huff spoke to reporters on Wednesday about his Tuesday arrest on the New Jersey side of the Walt Whitman Bridge that connects that state with Pennsylvania. Huff was charged with criminal possession of a weapon after police found a 9mm handgun and 6 hollow points in his car after he was pulled over for speeding. Huff was also cited for DUI and received a summons for marijuana possession. Huff's gun is licensed in Texas, but not in New Jersey, leading Huff to say that he made a terrible decision on Tuesday and apologized to the team. Huff explained why he had the gun in his possession. I'm a professional athlete, Huff said via NewJersey.com. What professional athlete don't have a gun? And that's a quote. I have a wife and I have a son at home. My job is to protect them at all costs, to protect myself as well. Even though I know I have security here, I know I have to protect myself as well. Huff said, I know my actions come with consequences. He faces potential NFL discipline in addition to the criminal charges in New Jersey. And Eagles coach Doug Penderson said he expects Huff to play in their next game against the Giants, which was held today, but we didn't get to see that game because we went to the range, and I'm not sure if he played or not. A couple things about that story is
he was in New Jersey with a firearm.
Yeah, you don't want to go to New Jersey. Sorry, folks that live in New Jersey.
We mean you no disrespect.
But your laws, firearm laws in New Jersey suck.
Well, now that we have just offended our New Jersey friends.
Well, I didn't offend them. I offended their laws.
Their laws.
Because, that's where the whole
Shaneen Allen.
That's where the whole Shaneen Allen thing happened up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
They just don't like firearms up there, and they want to make an example of everybody that they can. Now, granted, he also had some other issues going on besides the firearm, with the speeding and the DUI and the marijuana. I mean, he was all over the charts.
He was.
So,
but if you're going to carry a firearm either on your person or carry it in your car and you're going to travel, you have to know the laws of the states that you are traveling to. And had he known that, he would have realized, I cannot be in New Jersey with a firearm.
There's an app that we recommend to all of our students in our concealed weapon permit classes called Legal Heat. Legal Heat. If you just do a search on that, I believe it's available in iOS, and it's also available for those with Android phones. It is an incredible resource for you, especially if you're traveling, so you can know the laws that are in whatever state that you're going to be going to. It's really a good resource, so we recommend it highly.
And we wish Mr. Huff a lot of good luck in his legal cases coming up.
Yeah. Get off the weed, Mr. Huff.
Okay, I have a firearms in the news story. And I am really a proponent of education. And this comes to us from North Carolina, from a North Carolina high school in Smithfield. Selma High School has opened up a gun range on its campus, which is sparking a lot of debate. Anti-gunners always talk about how they only want well-trained people to operate guns, but then when they get their wish, they're still complaining. On this gun range at this high school, they have air rifles and they have guns that shoot only pellets. And according to the school, they say that there's a marksmanship safety test the students have to take. The score is 100, so they have to make a perfect score on the test. In addition to that, they have to sign a safety pledge. Each student also has to get permission from home, and then finally they have to demonstrate on the range that they know how to handle one of these air rifles safely. And like the story says a little bit earlier, it's sparking a whole lot of debate. I think that's a good idea to bring firearms into the classroom and onto the high school campuses. Once you teach a teenager or a child or whatever about a firearm, it takes the mysteriousness of it away. and they're going to know how it feels, how it sounds, what it does. They'll know the consequences of squeezing that trigger.
But the problem is there's anti-gunners, and they hear, they got guns on campus. What? And they're just losing their mind because there's guns on campus that their precious children go to, even though they're air rifles. But if they have proper supervision, proper training, there's not a thing wrong with that. And obviously the kids who are participating in the program, have to get parent sign off on it. So I don't see a problem with it myself.
I see no problem with it either. And if a parent does not want their child to participate in this program, then don't sign the paper.
My next story comes from Jacksonville, Florida, from CBS 47 Action News. It says that a Jacksonville mom is upset that her child was taught about guns without her permission.
Again, classroom.
Right. It says the woman's child is a student at Mandarin Oaks Elementary. She said gun safety is a topic that's sensitive in her household, and that her 7-year-old is pushing back on her parenting. The lesson was part of a program called Eddie Eagle, which focuses on gun safety. And for those that don't know, the Eddie Eagle gun safety program is a gun safety message that's packaged in an engaging, really easily relatable presentation that resonates with kids. The program does not contain any messaging about gun ownership, use of firearms, endorsing firearms, or political perspectives or anything. It's a voluntary presentation that parents can choose to opt their child out of participating in. And too many children grow up not being exposed, to gun safety. This article goes on to say that it was created by the National Rifle Association, and resource officers present the Eddie Eagle lessons to the children. And the thrust of the Eddie Eagle program is to stop, don't touch, run away, tell a grown-up. Now, what parent can have a problem with that philosophy?
Exactly.
That's what you want a small child to do if they find a firearm on the playground or somewhere. Stop, don't touch, run away, tell a grown-up. I don't see any problem with that either.
That's not teaching their children how to use a firearm.
No, it is not. Article continues that Duval County Public Schools said that parents are usually notified before the lesson is taught and given the option to opt out. And they've just done 7 years of parenting, undone 7 years of parenting in 1 hour, said this mother who was complaining about it, who didn't want to be identified, by the way. She said that she teaches her 7-year-old that all guns are bad. And she said her son came home with a pamphlet that said otherwise. And it said that, Mommy, you're wrong. Toy guns are okay. See, guns are okay, Mom. See, it says so right here. And, of course, the mom just kind of wigged out, when she saw this or heard this from her kid. The mother does not like that gun lessons were designed by the NRA either. She calls it propaganda. And it says that it sends a message that Duval County is NRA affiliated. And she sent the superintendent of Duval County Schools a message about her concern. And he said that parents should have gotten a letter giving them an option to opt out of this lesson. And he said that although the program was created by the NRA, its development was guided by education, public safety, and child development specialists. She's just one of these people who hate all guns are bad, and doesn't want her child to hear anything about them.
And she's probably a member of the Moms Demand Action.
The Moms Demand Attention.
Yeah.
That type of mentality just drives me crazy.
Well, too, part of her problem was it was an NRA curriculum. And the media has done such a good job of turning people like this mother against anything that the NRA has developed or come out with. So if the NRA says anything, automatically it must be bad.
Right. And she probably has no idea that the NRA is the largest gun safety instructional organizations in the world. They even teach law enforcement classes on on firearm safety. So, but she doesn't want